Faith is the ability to believe the story that you tell about your future. And all people do this. Everyone has faith. We think that people don't have faith, but they do have faith. They tell a story about their future and they believe it. They tell a story that I am lazy, I am not understanding this, I am miserable, I am not intelligent, and I don't deserve it. And they believe this story in their future also. They have a lot of faith in it. And that's the reason all their energies flow towards that future. You see, the future is unconstructed. It's not real. It doesn't exist yet. And it cannot be experienced right now. And yet, instead of creating whatever they want in the future, people are busy creating whatever they can't. Somehow people have faith more in what they can't than what they want. This is the biggest problem that people face. Despite having a human body, despite having the creative capacity to create whatever you want, despite having the two powers that are your birthright, which is to choose your story and character and to bring it into existence by just one pulsation. Just one pulsation of wanting it puts it on your future timeline. And the faith that you show in what you can't, if you can shift that faith to what you can and what you want, then you're going to have a huge difference. Just shift your faith from what you can't to what you want. Can't to want. Okay? So, people even hesitate to think what they want because their faith in what they can't is so big that they hesitate to even think about what they want. They don't have 5 minutes to stop from the crazy routine, get up and think about what they want. Isn't that crazy? I find it amazingly ridiculous that human beings have to be like this. Now, when you look at your future, you see that there are a lot of things not really what you want, but it's full of what you can't. And are you okay with that? What does that make you when you're okay with that? Definitely not a hero. Definitely not a story worth listening to. The story of what you can't is so big, and you listen to it so much, and you have so much faith that you freeze. You just wait and hope. Now you have hope also that this will just not be as bad as you think that it is, but it will be. There are so many problems. People get into relationships, and within a few minutes into the relationship itself, actually maybe not minutes, they're still in the nasha for the first few hours. In a few days itself, they start feeling, have I made a mistake? Or they start understanding that this is not going to be fun. That's not when they pivot. When they say, that's not when they say, this is not working, I'm sorry, I'm finished, bye-bye. They go and have children with the same people whom they don't like. And now they can't pivot because they have children. And still they look at the future of now not just themselves but also the children. And it's so stressful for both of them that they decide to just hold on to each other. And just avoid the pivot that they're supposed to make. Now you're waiting for fate. You're waiting for the karma to get over. This karma was created entirely by you. This is called Kriyaman karma. And some people, they change their whole ability to create a future they want to feeling that injustice has been done to them. And that is something that they can be angry about. And they can just say words to put down the other person. And once they say those words, they release some sasta nasha called serotonin. If you go and sit in the sunlight every day for at least an hour, you will have enough serotonin and you won't have to do this sasta nasha. So finally, the future that you fear is the one that you have faith in. The future that you want, that you desire, is not the one that you have faith in. People go and join a job. After 1 month of joining the job, they understand that this is not what I want to do in life. But they have too much faith in what they can't. I can't be an entrepreneur. I can't learn to earn money without selling my time. This is where people get stuck. And then it continues. And as it continues, they become hopeful that this will end. With what? With a better job. They don't understand that every job is going to be the same. It's you selling your time. No matter how much you're being paid, you're selling your time. You don't have your freedom. You can't go out in the forest and get some nice experience in nature on a weekday. It's not possible. That's what is actually bothering you about your job. But because you have a lot of faith in what you can't, you say this can't be changed. And then you sit there. Then you do some courses here and there. Somebody makes you a promise that they can help you with this. Then you go and do that course. But whatever is supposed to be done in the course, even if they put it down for you step by step, you won't be able to do it. Because your faith in what you can't is too high. The faith in what you want is too low. Nobody can build this for you. Faith is something we naturally have. It's called Shraddha. Where you apply your Shraddha is the most important thing. Are you applying the Shraddha in the service of what you can't or the service of what you want? Same thing happens with disease, and this is how people die, okay, finally. They got the bad relationship, they got the bad job, and now they just are waiting for the bad disease. And it happens because obviously there's no knowledge about health, and it's very easy to spoil your health nowadays. Even though the human body is super resilient, adaptive, survived ice ages and crossed across continents and inhabited even uninhabitable places of the earth, now we don't have health. And the reason for this is we are not getting enough sunlight and we're not getting enough nature grounding on our bare feet. This is the main reason, okay? But this is something now with your job and your relationship, you can't do it. Because if you decide to go to your forest, then your spouse will come along and your in-laws will also come along. And then you'll have to stay somewhere, and full time you'll be looking after the kids. And you'll never get to stand barefoot on the ground in nature. And you won't be able to teach this to your kids also. They'll not understand that having faith is what creates your future, which what motivates you, and where should you put your faith. That's the important thing. In a future that you want or into a future that you can't. So there's no way you're going to get into nature, get light, get that feel. Somebody told me that they went trekking for 3 days and all of their health issues and IBS and everything is gone. And I'm like, it's because of the outdoors. It'll come back when you go back to your job. And sure enough, she went back to her job and she got it. She got all her symptoms back. Because obviously what was supporting her health and improved it in 3 days is not present in the environment in which she is. You can't get better in an environment in which you got sick. But all unhealthy people have great faith in the idea that they can't leave their environment, even though they understand what I'm saying, that it's your environment making you sick. You can't get better in the same environment that made you sick, the same emotional environment, the same light environment, the same food environment, and the same electromagnetic environment that made you sick is not the environment which you can heal. If you add a few pills, a few injections, a few medical procedures, it still will not work. It doesn't matter if the medicine is Ayurveda or Western medicine. It won't work, because at least in Ayurveda, people assume that you have a proper environment. That's when those books were written, when the environment was okay and it was possible to change your environment. And people at that time had faith in what they want, not what they can't. That's why Ayurveda used to work. But now even that doesn't work, because the toxic environment can't be cancelled by some herb. It has to be cancelled by you moving out of that environment. There's no other way. But you have great faith in that idea that you can't. So here you are with your bag of can'ts, neglecting the sky of wants that are actually there for you. You don't have any faith that you can make things better, and you'll never make things better. This all comes down to your character. A real heroic character has absolute faith in what they want, not in what they can't. And that's how they do it, and they get it done. Every day I engage in this heroic faith. If you don't have this heroic faith, you're just going to get recycled, because this is not what Shakti wants from any of us. She didn't produce this in us. This is our own ego and small understanding of the world. When we start going after what we want, we activate Kameshwari, which are the winds, the vayus, the potential differences, the energy potential difference. There's potential difference in magnetism, there's potential difference in electricity, there's potential difference in every possible energy. There has to be a field of potential. This is called Kameshwari, desire. That's the potential difference. Even atoms experience desire. Even the universe experiences desire. The empty space that we call the universe is not empty. It desires to become something else, and it becomes it with faith. That's Kameshwari. We throw her out, okay? The Vayus. Wealth which flows towards us is Narayani. And it's the water element. It's also what nourishes us and takes care of us. But we reject her also, because water needs a proper structure to flow. Otherwise it flows randomly in any way. And it's the same with money. If you don't create the structures for money to flow, it will not flow the way it's supposed to flow. And then you'll be always disappointed and always under fear. Those who don't have money have fear. Somebody called me and was very angry with me and was saying that I have given you a big amount and nothing happened. And I tried to tell him that you have to work for yoga to work. And actually I'm sorry for selling you that course, because I didn't realize that you're not ready for it. So I'll correct this in my future. And stop writing stupid comments on my YouTube page, because that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you've been a nightmare customer and you didn't put in the work that was required. And that's why you haven't gotten results. It's not because yoga doesn't work, it's because you didn't work. So please don't be this nightmare customer when you come to learn yoga. I don't want such customers. It's something I don't want, and I have great faith that I'll get what I want. But what about you? How are you going to allow the money to flow to you? Where is the structure? You have to make a structure. And when you think about your future and you think about when you have faith in what you want, that creates the wonderful feeling of expansiveness. And this will allow you to experience rays of divinity that come into your future. When you create your future and you leave it out there and you have faith that it will happen, but you don't have any knowledge of how it will happen, rays of grace start coming from the sky. This is Rashmi Devi. This is quite detailed in the Rashmi Mala Stotra, which was written by Parshurama. It's coded into this. This is one of the lessons there. That when your eye gets activated and you start seeing the future, rays of grace will fall upon it and it starts to be supported because of your faith. And then there is Bhuvaneshwari. That shows where you are, what environment you are in, where you're standing in. And when you have faith that that environment can change, the ground you're standing upon itself changes. You will come into a new environment. Your environment is Bhuvaneshwari. How have you maintained her? If you haven't maintained a beautiful environment for yourself, you're insulting the goddess Bhuvaneshwari. So in every way, as a jiva, you have so many powers, but you don't use them. Instead, you abuse them. Don't do that. And when all this is in place, and when Narayani is flowing in every place, giving you energy, creating a potential difference along with the Vayu, which is Kameshwari. When Kameshwari and Narayani come together, they create Vajreshwari, which is basically the lightning in your body. Did you know that the total amount of potential in your body is close to 70,000 megavolts or something like that? I'm not sure of the unit, okay, but it's equivalent to lightning, the amount of energy that you have. And I've seen some Chinese masters on the internet light up a light bulb with their hands, just with this electricity that's inside them. And I've seen yogis create lightning when I was in the mountains with their meditation. It happened with me too. There was lightning inside my body, such a high potential, and the body itself transforms into a different kind of body, a body that has no death, no aging, and requires no food. That's the higher visible part of Shakti. Everyone wants that Shakti path without preparing the other Devis. They directly want Vajreshwari. They come to me and say, can I rise my Kundalini? Yes, the Kundalini is lightning in your body, but it cannot be risen and it cannot be made. Yes, there are great powers in yoga, but the first step is to lose faith in what you can't and have faith in what you want. And when that happens, Shakti dances. She rejoices that somebody, her child, has taken cognizance of her. Please ask Shakti. Make a prayer. It's written in the Saundarya Lahari. You just pray to her. Ask her for a small portion of her grace. Just make a prayer and say, can you please give me a small portion of your grace so that I can come out of all of these things and have faith in you? Give me a small portion. Let me have her. Like Jesus also said in the Bible, if you had the faith the size of a mustard seed in your future, you would be able to move mountains. And it's the same. Ask her for a mustard seed size faith at least. Please give it to me. Beg her. When you beg it to Bhavani, when you say, oh Bhavani, dear Bhavani, Mother Bhavani, Ma Bhavani, please give me a button size faith at least. Give me a button size grace so that I can have faith. Button size grace. Button sized grace is all you need from her. But when you say Bhavani itself, and when you ask with a sincere heart, she will already shower you. She will take the crowns of the God and shower you with grace. Okay? So those who don't have faith, please ask for grace. Reconnect to Shakti. Don't be full of your own ego that your whole life is run by you. Nothing here is run by you. You don't have to struggle so much. You need to have faith in what you want. It doesn't take struggle. You already have faith in what you can't. Shift sides now. Do it today. Because if you don't do it today, you know you'll get what you can't.